Our chapel speaker this morning is Mr. Anthony Goins.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about today, and decided to talk about something I heard a while ago from one of my basketball coaches. We were working out, and it was a tough workout. I'm going through it, tired, sweating, out of breath and all that. And he told me, get comfortable being uncomfortable. I'll say it again. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. And what he meant by that was there's always going to be times in your life where things are uncomfortable. Like here at school, I hear complaining all the time, oh, there's no girls, we got a lot of classes, we got a lot of homework. It's uncomfortable. But you got to embrace being uncomfortable. Because when I look back, I see that the times that I was uncomfortable were actually the times that I got better at something. The times where I was willing to fight through being uncomfortable was when I got better. It made me a better person to be able to fight through being uncomfortable. The way you fight through being uncomfortable is working through it, not effort. Going to class, showing up, doing your homework, that's effort. Work is the stuff you do beyond that. And I watch my parents uncomfortable all the time, as I was growing up at their work. Because both of my parents have high school degrees. And I watched my father work from being a security guard at American Express, making $6.50 an hour, to an executive at JP Morgan Chase. Because he was so uncomfortable that he was willing to work harder than everybody else. And to this day, when everybody else isn't in the office, he's still in there on a Sunday, on a Saturday, working from home. I watched my mom come home at midnight from work and then get back up at 5 a.m. to be back there at 6 a.m. Not putting forth effort, but working. How many people follow the NBA? Anybody know who JaVale McGee is? The guy always on the ESPN, not top 10. He puts forth effort in the game. Kevin Durant does work. Nate Robinson, he put forth effort. LeBron James does work. It's that stuff you do after the effort. The little more you go, a little bit more you go that's work. And that's how you fight through being uncomfortable. And sometimes it pains me to see, when guys talk about, complain, and I can tell it's because they're uncomfortable, from what they're used to at home. Oh, I used to be able to go out and do this, or I used to have this, or I didn't have to do this, or nobody made me do this. But, when the things that you're asked to do here that are uncomfortable, it's really just to make you better. And personally, I get scared when I get comfortable, because with comfort becomes complacency. And one of these days, you're gonna, really feel some uncomfortable, situations. Not this thing that you think is bad because, you don't really want to do it, but you're gonna be put in some situations where it's really gonna be uncomfortable. I spent 6 years in New York, 4 years of college, 2 years afterwards. And I had a great time, but it wasn't always great. I was 18 years old, summer, my freshman year. How many of you guys are 18 old? I was same age as you. My freshman year, I decided, I wasn't gonna go home. I was gonna stay and, get an internship. Got me an internship at NBC Sports. And sure, you're from Brooklyn, right? You know anything about Brooklyn? A little bit? You heard of East New York? Louis Pink houses? Good place to be? Nah. It's 18, rented a room in Brooklyn, East New York. Because, had to find a place to stay. Rent was $400. My dad said, hey, I can pay your rent. I was working for free. My dad said, I can pay your rent. I can give you $150 a month to live on. 18. Same age as you. And so every morning I went to work, for free. 8 hours a day, sometimes 9, sometimes 10, free. You only get a little travel stipend or reimbursement, not even stipend, reimbursement. But there was one morning I was faced with something, I'd been in uncomfortable situations before, but this one was different because I was by myself in this situation. One morning I woke up and I realized I had a decision to make. A very uncomfortable decision. Do I go to work or do I eat? One of the two. The time the train was, get on the train was $2. Do I go to work or do I eat? Not, oh, I gotta do homework from 7:30 to 9:30, or I gotta be at chapel, or I gotta go to sport, or I need to work out. Do I go to work or do I eat? One of the two. I can't do both today. Those situations become real when you're by yourself, and they're really uncomfortable when, you're hoping to find a couple of quarters that'll help you. You're hoping that somebody at work says, hey, why don't I take you out to lunch? So the things that you feel like are uncomfortable, that you don't feel like doing, in the grand scheme of things, they're just really helping you out. And you're fighting the system to get it done. And imagine going through that for a week. Do I go to work or do I eat? Trying to figure it out on a daily basis. To the point where I'm walking down the street and I got down on my knees crying because I didn't know what to do. These situations that you feel are comfortable and to work through those make you a better person. I could have called mom and dad and said, Mom and Dad, I don't want to do this no more. I quit. And, they probably would have, scrounged up something and gave it to me, or, whatever they had, they would have sent it to me. But, I knew I had to become a man. I had to fight through those situations. And the same thing with you guys here. You got to fight through these situations. Just because you don't feel like doing it. Because it makes you a little uncomfortable. Good. It makes you a better person. Because on the other side of it, it's going to be something good, I promise you. So I challenge you, whenever you don't feel like doing something, when something's uncomfortable, when it's not something you're used to, fight through it, because I promise there's going to be something better on the other side. Thanks.